Hi, I'm Leslie with Art Insights, and I am with Randy Martinez, who does beautiful art of Star Wars and Raiders of the Lost Ark. And he just did this really awesome book. Let me grab this. Creature Features, How to Draw Different Monsters. And it is such a cool book. And I know when I was volunteering at the Children's Hospital, I had to try to learn how to draw, and I'm awful. And I really wish that there were more books that I could actually learn how to draw something from scratch, but that was really fun and really something that you have a connection to. I could draw Winnie the Pooh and Mickey, and that was it. And I'm telling you, the teenagers were not interested in those two. They were wanting to see something more interesting, and this stuff is so great. Did you pick the characters and the monsters that you drew, or how did this come about? Tell me a little bit about this book.
Well, Creature Features, I basically was given kind of a clean slate. They gave me an idea of what they wanted, but most of the book actually is, they just said you go for it and your ideas, and we'll tell you if it's something that works for us or if it's not. So most of the stuff was a go. There's a couple things that we couldn't use because of licensing issues, but for the most part, you know, I really got into it because I did the research. In the book, you can see that there's a lore before every creature that tells you some background on it. So not only are you going to be drawing the creature, you also get a little history lesson that maybe puts you down the road to learning more about it, but also gives the student of the book a chance to see what an illustrator really does, because you really do have to do that research. I give you the first step in the book. And I think that helps you get into each character. So
have you tested it to see how people can actually draw them yet?
I actually have been getting emails with people that send it in. They swear they don't have any art experience, and they come out really good.
Did they show you a couple of the images?
Yeah, they emailed them to me and
stuff.
stuff.
Oh, that's so cool.
And I need to put them up on my website.
I know, that would be great. So what are the favorite ones that you did, or what are the ones that you had the most fun doing a little research on?
A lot of the mythological creatures.
We've been at Comic-Con.
Yeah, long weekend.
Okay, yeah.
But mythological creatures and characters, and the stories are just, you know, the creature is actually just kind of the neat part of the story. But you know, this is long before Shakespearean things, of course.
Right.
And these myths have gone through the years, and there's actually a lot of interesting things that from doing the research that I found that people fudge on in movies. Like Clash of the Titans is a great movie, but there's so much mythology that they just kind of like irk a little bit just to make it fit in the movie.
Oh.
And that's why I love the History Channel, you know, and that's what kind of inspired the way I attacked this book, because I wanted to give more
of the real story.
The real story, you know, at least start you down the path.
You know, because what really, you know, when it comes to the swamp monster, what's the true story of the swamp monster? Just kidding. So it's actually called cryptozoology, the study of mythological creatures. And I know a lot of the people that I run across that are interested in the Star Wars and Indiana Jones, which all of that stuff has archetypal imagery in it, which is what really all the cryptozoology and all the stories and mythologies are all based in. Some would argue in archetypal figures, and so I think it's interesting. You seem to have particular subject matter that you're drawn to as far as being an illustrator. What are the most? Give a list of some of the things you've worked on.
I do a lot of work for LucasFilm, which includes Star Wars and Indiana Jones. I do some children's games.
Oh, cool.
And where the subject matter is usually monsters or something, animal or some sort of creature, whatever. I've done a lot of magazine covers or illustrations inside the magazines, specifically kind of in the popular arts genre, you know, fantasy, sci-fi.
You have two different fairly distinct styles. You've got one that's what we call on model, where it really looks like the character, and it's like a little bit more traditional, even though you have a very specific design to your art. You also have more of a caricatured kind of wider, sort of broader humor, and it's interesting when you see both of them. How did you develop those two different styles?
I started out in cartooning and caricature. That's where I was originally trained doing that. My dad is an illustrator and does a lot of caricature and illustration stuff like that. And so just being around it it just, I guess, osmosis or whatever, that's just what I really started loving. And I mean, the day I picked up a Mad magazine, it just completely turned me on. Jack Davis, Mort Drucker, Sergio Aragonés, all these guys, and I there's something about it. There's like, it was more than just a portrait. Portraits are great, they can be beautiful, but there's something about caricature and cartooning, it says a story.
Right.
And it's really difficult. A lot of people don't realize that caricature and cartooning can sometimes be much more difficult than just a straight portrait.
Well, it's making a statement at the same time. It's just by the way that you change the face, you're making a statement about the character.
I went with that, challenging myself a lot in how to get that story across, the statement.
You actually did the Celebration poster along with John Alvin. There were two that were the official posters. How did that come about for Celebration 4? And 3, right? Or was
for Celebration 4 and Celebration Europe.
Oh, okay, right.
And, well, to go backwards, Celebration Europe was kind of just kind of luck or something. My idea was to do the Sgt. Pepper's album cover, because we're going to be in Europe. I want to do something, British, because it's in London, so I thought of doing that. Well, they saw the sketch ideas, and they said, this has got to be the cover for the program and the official poster. And I'm like, great, that's cool. What am I going to sell for my own print, though?
Right, yeah.
But there was never a question I was going to give it up. But they just liked the sketches and wanted me to finish it for the cover. The Celebration 4 artwork, I campaigned for a little bit. Celebration 4 was coming to Los Angeles. This is where I live. And I just you gotta have, represent Los Angeles, Star Wars artists. So I talked to the people at LucasFilm, and they kept an open door for me. I understood from the very beginning that I could put in a lot of work and it could mean nothing, but I just really wanted it. And so I kept doing sketches. They liked the ideas, and we just kept developing it. And all the while, I had no idea John was doing a piece as well. So, with
whom you became really close friends by the end.
Really close friends with John by the end of the show, and afterwards.
Right.
But
we talked about the fact that you had a correspondence with him up to when he passed away.
Yeah.
Because you've done the Lucasfilm stuff, was that something you went after, or did it find you? How did that work?
It's kind of a funny story. I, of course, have always wanted to do Star Wars artwork, and
so you're a big fan.
I'm a huge fan of Star Wars. I mean, I get to take a look around the room. I got toys, I got posters everywhere, and I just keep my inspiration around me. But I just got out of college in 1998, in the winter of '98. So '99 comes along, and I'm back at home, no work. I have no clue of how to get work. So I see they were doing this celebration for Star Wars, and I'm like, there's got to be somebody I can give some work to and maybe spawn some jobs or something like that. So I went there, and it wasn't the most organized convention, and I was really frustrated, and there's so many people, my arms were filled with my artwork to hand out to people, and I was having a mini nervous breakdown, and I turned around, I got to get out of here, and I ran into Steve Sansweet.
Oh, that's a beautiful story.
Knocked him on the ground, actually, with his, the little entourage.
Hello,
with him.
It came you.
Exactly,
yes.
and so
it did come to you. You went, and it came to you at the same time.
It actually did. It's like what we talked about. You put it out in the universe,
right?
And you just do the best you can do, and
you ask, and it's
exactly,
given,
and maybe not to his advantage that he got knocked on his butt, but I helped him
That's kind of a metaphor, though. I would take it very seriously if that happened to me.
Yeah.
As someone who's selecting the
that
art.
Probably was why he maybe I need to pay attention to this guy.
Well,
so
I showed how trippy he is, but even so.
Yeah, I showed him work, and all the other people from Lucasfilm that were with him loved it, and it was humorous work at the time, caricatures. And 2 weeks later, he had me call him, and he got me into Star Wars Kids magazine, where I was doing cartoons and caricatures, and that led into Star Wars Insider. And I owe Steve a whole lot for and Fate, for having me smack into him. But it was great because it allowed me to be able to put my passion into something, and I see a lot of artists that don't get that opportunity, and it's frustrating for them, and I'm frustrated for them, but I never take it for granted that this opportunity to be a Star Wars artist I'm living it,